Thank you so much for doing this interview with me. It's so funny that the fact that I've had a chance to interview your parents for years, and they've talked about you and they've talked about your sister a lot, saying how talented you guys are, and it's taken a long time for us to do this, man. I'm glad we're getting a chance to do it, especially here at the Museum exhibit that's going down here over at the Tiff Bell Lightbox. But more importantly, man, talking to you, and not just your career, the launch. Congratulations on being on that, man.
Thank you. Yeah, it's really exciting to be a part of. I'm just looking forward to seeing my episode because I have no idea what it's going to look like. I know what it looked like when I was there, but just to, it's so different once it's actually been edited and it's on camera, so I just can't wait to see what it looks like.
Well, I want to talk about the launch, but I really want to talk about your career also, man. What is it like to grow up being the son of Amy Sky and Mark Jordan, two of the greatest singer-songwriters to ever be here in Canada?
It's funny, now that I'm sort of getting into the business myself, I'm starting to realize what the benefits were and just, I don't know, the awesomeness of growing up with them. I mean, when I was a kid, they were just my parents, and they'd go play shows and they'd be on stage, and that wasn't weird to me. I figured, everyone's parents do this kind of thing, which I later found out is not really the case. But just the little tips and tricks and things that they know about the business that I'm just learning now, and I tell them about it like, yeah, of course. And they have so many things to tell me now that are just valuable pieces of information. So I'm really beginning to appreciate their years of wisdom.
But I mean, when you went to your friends, or your friends came over and they're going, man, you didn't tell me your parents were, did you get a lot of that kind of stuff?
Mostly, even when we were kids, they didn't really know what it meant either until my dad won a Juno back in the day for co-producing one of his albums, and we have the Juno on the piano at home, and people wouldn't understand what my parents did really until they came over and they're like, wait, who won a Juno here? I was like, I guess my dad. Is that weird? So yeah, it really hit home once they saw that.
When did you know, though, that you were going to start to follow in their footsteps, too? Because it's not just you. Your sister is also part of this business also.
Yeah, it's a whole family affair, and it's funny. I mean, I always knew I wanted to be a musician in some capacity ever since I was 4. I started playing piano, and yep, that's probably it. I never really considered doing much else, and Zoe was completely the opposite, where she, rebelled against it, I guess as the older kid, until she was 18. She's like, no, I'm going to be a musician. And then suddenly she was an amazing songwriter, and everyone was like, I guess it makes sense. But for me, I never wanted to be a singer-songwriter like my parents. I wanted to be a piano player, producer all my life. Never even tried to sing or write or anything until I turned 18. And then I had a big knee injury and kind of a life-changing event, and I couldn't play piano for the better part of a year, and singing became my new musical outlet.
When you couldn't play piano, before the singing came in, what were you thinking about? Did you think, oh my God, my career is done. I finally found a love that I want to be part of, and now it's been taken away. And then how did you figure that the singing part was going to come into your life?
I figured I'd be able to play piano, just had to learn to use the pedal with my other foot, which I still do sometimes, and it's not so hard. But I knew, at least for the time being, I had to have my leg propped up, and I had all this metal sticking out of it, so I couldn't fit at the piano. I just couldn't sit there. And the singing just came naturally about as a different musical outlet. It was actually Unaware by Alan Stone is the song that, if you've ever heard that song, it's got this huge epic modulation at the end, and I was like, I have to sing that. And then I was singing it, and my mom's like, you do that? You sing? I don't know, I guess. No one, including myself, knew, but yeah, it just kind of snowballed from there.
What about the songwriting part, though? What kind of songs do you like to write about, and what kind of stories do you like to tell? What kind of style, and again, what kind of stories do you like to tell?
I get inspired by, I think my writing style kind of falls somewhere in between the process of my mom and the process of my dad. I've talked to them a lot about their own processes, and it kind of depends. My dad tends to listen to a track and see a whole picture movie in his head, and he just writes what he sees in his head, which is phenomenal. And I've tried to do that, but sometimes I start with a lyrical idea, sometimes I start with a musical idea, but I write about whatever I'm feeling, or sometimes I write a song about my friend, sometimes I write about myself, staring myself in the mirror. Sometimes it's a girl I like. Sometimes it's my leg injury, which was a pivotal moment in my life. So kind of whatever inspires me.
People are going to watch this interview. They're going to go, hey, I want to hear or see some of the songs that you have out, maybe on YouTube or SoundCloud, wherever. What singles do you have out now?
I've got 2 singles out right now. One's called Drag Me Down. The other's called Only Got Eyes for Her. And they're both out across all the music streaming services, YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, Amazon Music, everything. And I have a website, EzraJordan.com, so you can find everything there.
So here we are. You know, you're growing in this business. I mean, you're part of Music Royalty, and then somewhere along the line, this show that is going to revolutionize the way we look at these, if I could use the term, reality music shows, comes around, and you become part of this, a big part of this. How did that come about? That you being on the launch?
They kind of found my music. I think maybe because.
They hunted you down?
I was contacted to.
They hunted you down.
They hunted me down. I think it helped. It was Fraser Hill was one of the guys in charge of finding the talent for the show, and he, I think he knew my father from prior, working with him, and he just sort of looked me up and said, "Hey, we're doing this show. If you want to audition for it, send in a video, send in some music, and we'll see if you're a right fit." And there it was. I guess they liked what they saw. So.
Wow. I mean, when they came after you for this, I mean, what were your thoughts?
I just thought I had been contacted by The Voice before as well, and the Voice is in America, and it just didn't really work out with me being in Canada. But I never thought going into it that it was really necessarily realistic that I was going to be on it, because you see them on TV. It seems like such a huge step up from where I am in my career right now. But I thought it's worth a shot, can't hurt, and now I'm on the show.
Okay, now I don't want to give too much away because I want people to be able to watch it and, see what happens with you. But can you explain the premises of the show in case people don't understand exactly what the launch is?
Yeah, absolutely. I really think it's a great premise because, we've seen the other, music reality shows before, and it's pretty different, the process. It's a new group of artists every episode. And there's a producer, a mentor, and Scott Borchetta, who's the creator and the guy who discovered Taylor Swift and a big music mogul guy. So, the 5 artists for each episode, they go in, they perform for the mentors, and then they narrow it down to 2. And those 2 artists get to record a hit song that was brought in specifically for that episode by the mentor and the producer. And they each record a song in like 24 hours, and the best one gets picked and launched.
Now, I don't want to give, again, too much away. I mean, we know Shania Twain, there's Boy George, there's a lot of great mentors on this. I will ask this, though. The experience itself, you kind of said it already. What do you think it's done for you and for your career personally?
Well, the connections, the people, the serious star power that are on the panel or judging panels, the mentors. I got to meet Fergie, and Stefan Macchio, who are, amazingly talented, and just the little bit that I got to learn from them, it was such a quick process, but Fergie was coaching me performance-wise, and I learned so much about playing or performing away from the piano, because I'm usually behind the piano, and it's really different when it's just me and a mic stand. And playing with the house band, they were amazing, and the size of the studio there, it's unbelievable. They built an entire recording studio for the show. So it's beautiful and massive, and they got the best gear in the world, and it was just like a world-class experience, which I don't really get a lot of chances to experience yet in my career.
So we'll leave it to that because I want folks to tune in on this. It's at Wednesdays at 9 o'clock, I do believe.
I think that's right, yeah. My episode is airing on the 24th, but the show starts on the 10th.
On the 10th, which is coming up as we speak this Wednesday. What is going to be happening in the future with you? I mean, recently you just had a chance to do something that was family groundbreaking. You guys all performed together in a Christmas show.
Yeah, we did on Zoomer AM radio. We did an awesome Sky Jordan family Christmas show, and leading up to it, part of me was like, "Oh God, this cannot end well." But it's just family stuff. But it was amazing. It was actually really fun, and we got played with a few great musicians, and it was surprisingly fun for a Jewish family to do a Christmas show like that.
Hey, look, man, I loved it. I had a chance to see some of it too. It is on YouTube also for folks who haven't had a chance, and on Facebook. But also, what's going to happen with 2018? What's the rest of the future looking like for you? Any shows coming up, any performances, and more songs being written?
Yeah, I've got lots of stuff coming out. I really want to use the launch as a jumping point because I'm going to have so many eyes on me. And I have a tour coming up. I'm playing in London, here in Toronto, Kingston, Ottawa, and Montreal. I've got a new single coming out this month, and we're working on a music video. So there's lots of stuff coming in 2018.
Okay. Social media again, where do we go?
EzraJordan.com is my website, and Ezra Jordan's my Instagram handle, my Twitter handle, so just, it's everywhere, and Facebook.
All right, now I'm going to put the hand back out. Congratulations, my friend. Looking forward to seeing you on the launch, but more importantly, looking forward to seeing all the things you're doing this year.
Thanks, Rudy.